Good afternoon, my name is Liam Kashili. Have you ever wanted to live forever? Today, I will be discussing a burgeoning field of study that promises just that, xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation simply refers to the grafting of animal organs and tissues into an animal of another species. It promises to solve chronic shortages in human organ donors, and with advancements in genetic engineering, this dream is drawing ever closer to reality. To thoroughly explain what xenotransplantation really is, I will discuss its history, morality, and current feasibility, including what the perspectives of proponents and critics are. But first, let me explain some jargon for those who are new. Xeno is a Greek prefix that literally means alien, and when you hear it, you can assume it refers to something non-human. Allo is another prefix that means different, and refers to a graft from a non-related human donor. Grafting is simply the transplantation of tissue from one to another. With that out of the way, let's get started. The modern history of xenotransplantation began at the tail end of the 20th century, with the invention of genetic engineering tools, which allowed for the modification of animal organs to suit the human body. While primate to human xenotransplants had been attempted in decades earlier, the large differences in genetic makeup between host and donor caused the immune system to immediately detect and attack these organs, resulting in death. Genetic engineering first started with primates due to their genetic similarity, but this was soon abandoned for pigs instead because of their ease of raising and rapid breeding. Primates instead became the guinea pigs, with the theory being that successes in long-term primate xenotransplantation would carry over well to humans. This is the first sticking point that xenotransplantation ran into. Animal rights groups have protested both the need for the slaughter of animals to supply organs and the invasive nature of experimentation, which by this point almost always resulted in deaths within a few weeks at most. In 2000, documents detailing research by Immutrum, a leading xenotransplantation research company at the time, were leaked to British animal rights group Uncaged Campaigns. The documents revealed that 420 monkeys and 50 baboons had died in experiments throughout the 1990s, with survival times averaging 13 days. This sparked a public backlash in the UK and halted xenotransplantation experiments for several years. By 2000, successful avoidance of immediate immune rejection through genetic engineering, alongside improved immune suppression drugs, had achieved a medium-term survival of primate organ recipients and paved the way for human experimentation. While this was restricted to brain-dead people with the consent of the family, the high mortality rate attracted complaints about the emotional burden these operations placed on relatives and carers. Regardless, research continued unabated for 2 decades this way, with the key goal being the achievement of a 3-month survival rate of 60% to begin general human experimentation. In 2022, this threshold was met and the first attempt at true human xenotransplantation was made. The recipient, David Bennett, received a genetically modified pig heart to save him from heart disease, which would have killed him before a typical allotransplant could be found. While the operation and his initial recovery had no issues, Bennett suddenly and tragically died a few weeks later. It turns out the organs had not been modified enough to prevent secondary immune responses from eventually detecting the foreign object. Other operations in the intervening years, including kidney and heart xenotransplants, have all failed for this reason. In 2022, not a single xenotransplant recipient has survived longer than 6 months. These setbacks have garnered the most criticism for the field yet. Some have accused scientists of rushing to claim the glory of first, when the technology was not yet safe enough to guarantee survival. Others have pointed out that the effects of the genetic edits made, including how they will interact with the host body, are not completely understood in either a medium or long-term time frame. Proponents of xenotransplantation have dismissed many of these objections as short-sighted. They state that the few who die from experimentation accepted understanding that there were no alternatives for survival, and their sacrifices would advance a field of study that could save thousands. In the United States alone, 17 people die each day waiting for an organ donor. Moreover, recent studies experimenting with traditional pig-to-primate transplants have achieved year-long average survival times, suggesting that the secondary immune response problem may be overcome sooner than expected. The carryover effect of other technological breakthroughs should also be considered, especially AI. The use of purpose-built predictive models could help simulate the complex interplay genetic engineering causes in a host body, reducing error rates and limiting the need for practical experimentation until scientists are certain of success. For now, true xenotransplantation remains out of reach. While there are hopeful signs that some of the issues preventing long-term survival can be resolved, these remain hypothetical until practically applied. Xenotransplantation is certainly a field mired with controversy, but it also has amazing promise to solve one of the largest issues in modern medicine. I can only hope that the scientists at the forefront of this field ensure that they conduct themselves with care and ensure the mistakes of the past few years are not repeated. Lives are at line.